So hi, thanks for joining me. Today I'm doing a pickups video, and we've got some pretty cool stuff here, a lot of Game Gear games, but I have a couple other things too that I'm really excited to share with you guys. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to jump right into the Game Gear stuff that I've picked up. For starters, I picked up Junction. This is another one of the slightly uncommon games. Like I said, the games on the Game Gear are not particularly rare, but I have found a little bit more information out about that, so I'll fill you guys in. We've got Poker Face Paul's Poker, Jurassic Park, Deep Duck Trouble, Echo the Dolphin, Phantom 2049. Phantom 2040. I was hoping that this would be a little bit better. I checked it out, and the Game Gear has a lot of cool platformers on it, which I think is really fun. Aladdin, another one I tried out. I've tried all these out basically just to make sure they work. This one you start off with the scene where you're running away from the guards. It's actually a little challenging. Streets of Rage. This one is actually really cool. Defenders of Oasis. I was starting to wonder, and I've actually had a question on my last video, are there any RPGs on the Game Gear? Now, of course, in Japan, there were a bunch more RPGs. But here it looks like we only really got two that are kind of like authentic, traditional RPGs. This is one of them. It doesn't even almost look like it. It looks like an action game, but it's not. It's an RPG, and I started it off. It's cool. I actually really liked it. It's pretty engrossing just from the beginning. World Series Baseball. Tom and Jerry the movie. Echo the Tides of Time. Battleship. Now this I found surprising. I put this in to check it out, and of course I started playing. It's just the board game Battleship. You place your ships, and then you try to bomb your other, your opponent without knowing where their ships are. It's so much fun on the Game Gear. I couldn't put this down. I just played round after round of it. It's surprisingly just engaging to play on the Game Gear. Aerial Assault, which I haven't played a lot of, but it's actually a shoot 'em up. So I was really impressed with that. That's not necessarily what I was expecting. I thought it'd be more of like a flight sim afterburner kind of thing, but genuine shmup there. It was kind of fun. Agassi Tennis, or what's that guy's name? Andre Agassi. Tails Adventure. This is again one of the kind of uncommon games, and it's slightly more sought after, it seems like, than some of the games. I didn't spend too much on this. In fact, I was going to grab stats, and I kind of forgot to, but my cheapest games that I've been getting are like, when you buy them in a lot, I've managed to get some stuff for probably around $1.75, something like that. Up to, I think the most expensive one I got was about 35 bucks. So, like I said, this is pretty affordable. None of the games are going to cost you a whole ton, and if you buy them in lots and you're patient, you can get some good deals. So anyway, but I checked this one out, and the gameplay is pretty cool on it. It's a platformer, but it has some adventure elements to it where you can you unlock different tools that you can use. Like you start off with bombs, and you can get some other stuff, and you sort of equip them on Tails, and then you use them to get through the stages in sort of some kind of minor puzzle solving elements. This is a fun game. I actually kind of highly recommend it, just based on what I've played so far. Iron Man, Exo Man of War in Heavy Metal. NFL Quarterback Club 96, not to be confused with just regular NFL Quarterback Club. Fred Couples Golf. GP Rider. This is like a hang-on style racing game, motorcycle racing game. It's alright, I tried it out. Star Trek The Next Generation. This is the Advanced Holodeck Tutorial. Sounds kind of underwhelming. I actually haven't really played it too much, so I don't know how that is. WrestleMania Steel Cage. Steel Cage Challenge. This is kind of an interesting edition, Fatal Fury Special. I managed to get a good deal on this, again in a lot. Unfortunately, actually, it was a lot of 4 games, and they were untested. One of them actually happened to have the contacts were like worn out. The traces that connected the contacts had either been like, it seemed like they'd basically been sanded off, just from maybe trying to clean the contacts or something. So I tried to repair the traces. I don't. It's not something I've done a lot before. I thought that the technique that I was using would, turn out okay, but it just was. It was too far damaged, and I ended up pulling one of the, the pads, kind of the connectors off. So I ended up throwing that one out. So it kind of altered the overall average price of those games that I picked up in that lot, but this was actually still a really good deal compared to what it normally goes for, and it's kind of a cool game. I mean, it's Fatal Fury, so definitely a neat game to have on the Game Gear. Sonic Blast, and one thing that I kind of underestimated about the Game Gear is how many Sonic the Hedgehog games it has on it, and how genuinely good they are overall. You kind of think of, man, what did Sega do with Sonic the Hedgehog? I think they tapped out a lot of the potential of it just on the Game Gear and the Sega Master System. NBA Jam, Solitaire Fun Pack, ironically a somewhat uncommon game. VR Troopers, Super Columns, Jurassic Park: The Lost World, also a somewhat uncommon game. Speedy Gonzales: Cheese Catastrophe. This was not very good, what I played of it. I was, some of these kind of like Looney Tunes and Disney games like seem pretty cool, but nah. This is Sega Club. Not quite sure what the significance of that is, but it's the Berenstain Bears, the Camping Adventure. This is going to sound weird, but surprisingly decent. I chucked this in. It's a platforming game, and I actually really enjoyed playing it. I played it for a while, for a half hour or something like that. It's pretty good. Here's another slightly more sought-after game, and I believe that this has a version on the 32X. This is Tempo Junior. I'd never played the game before. I haven't played the 32X one. I don't know if it's on any other systems, but this is a cool platformer too. I started playing this, and I was immediately impressed by the graphics, the amount of just detail in the animation in particular, the amount of things that you could do with the character, just with the limited 2 buttons and the directional pad. It's a pretty awesome platformer, and I can kind of see why it might be a little bit more sought after. It's also a little bit uncommon. It's not tremendously expensive, but I think I ended up spending a little less than $20 on this one. This is one of the ones I spent a little bit more on. And speaking of spending a little bit more on games, so in investigating the the games that are a little bit rarer in this region, North America, on the Game Gear, unfortunately I did actually discover that there were a couple of games that Digital Press has listed as 0 rarity, which means they're either like, basically they just don't know how rare they are, or they don't have enough information, or they're quite rare. Now these, I don't think are anything that are rare exactly. A handful of the games, though, I'm finding on the system are harder to find, and a couple of them, even that are listed as more like rarity 4, which is pretty relatively common. It's like getting into the uncommon realm, but it's not like super uncommon. It's not like rarity 6, which is still not even rare. It's uncommon. Some of these games are tough to find. There's like a couple that I've never seen show up on eBay yet. I mean, I've only been looking since I've been making these videos, so what, like a month or two, or actually like a month. So I'm not that concerned about it. I'm just keeping my eyes out. But these games by Codemasters, they're I don't know a lot about them, but it seems like they're a European company. I think it may be a UK company. And some of the games they released here, like I said, in this region, they have the purple on them here. There's no like functional differences between the versions that were released in in Europe or maybe Australia, but it does have a different label. And this game was not. I mean, this was super cheap. I think I got it for $5 or something. So whatever. This game, however, I spent a little bit more on. I don't know if it was completely necessary. This is basically the Game Gear game I've spent the most on so far. It was not expensive. It was about, like I said, 35 bucks. Did I overpay on it? Did I not? I'm not really sure. But I thought it was a pretty good deal just to see it have come up. And I did a lot of research actually, and I didn't expect to find it any cheaper than that. So I went ahead and bid. This is like an adventure game. It's like a text adventure game. It's really weird, like a point and click, I should say, not a text adventure game. So you like point and click at different things. Not at all what I was expecting. Probably something that I wouldn't say like get because of the gameplay until I play more of it, if maybe it's like really interesting. But it's more of a collection thing. I splurged a little bit on it, not too much. But I'm gonna be keeping my eyes open for specifically these Codemasters games. Not all of the games that they made for the Game Gear were released in this region. I'm just gonna focus on the North American region for now. So next up I have an anime pickup. Funny story about this. Or maybe a couple stories. Evangelion 3.33. If you guys follow anime at all, if you're Evangelion fans at all, Gainax a number of years ago started redoing the series as movies, and they're good. I have the first two, and like I said, I just picked this one up. The thing is, though, that they were pretty good at releasing the movies within about a year of their theatrical release in Japan, in North America, localized and dubbed and subtitled and all that good stuff. For some reason, Funimation sat on this movie for 4 years after it came out. I don't know why. I think it's ridiculous. I guess I'm not going to get too upset about when an anime comes out. I mean, it came out and I got to watch it, and that's great. But I don't know why it they sat on it for 4 years. I think it's really weird. I was able to. I think you could pre-order this about 2 years ago, and I pre-ordered it on Right Stuff, and they honored the pre-order. There was like a little trouble with the billing, so I didn't actually end up getting it from them. You can see I got it from Best Buy. That's the other part of the story. Is I went into Best Buy. I just wanted to see if they had it. It looked like it was cheaper than they had it anywhere else. I think even than my pre-order at Right Stuff. The reason why it seemed cheaper, however, is because I picked up the DVD version. Complete amateur mistake. I haven't made that mistake in decades. I do not know what I was smoking at the time, but I picked up the DVD, I brought it home, I opened it up, I started watching it, and it wasn't until like I was a third of the way through the movie, and I'm just like, this doesn't look that great. I mean, it looks good, but I'm like, why is the menu all weird and everything? And then finally it dawns on me that I hadn't picked up the Blu-ray. So I took it back to Best Buy. Thankfully they let me exchange it and everything was good, but I couldn't believe that. It's just, I don't know, I'm getting senile in my middle age here. So a couple other things that I want to show off here. These aren't pickups so much as things related to my store. So I've been getting into collecting on the Game Gear, and I've wanted a really good way to store my Game Gear games. Especially these handheld games, the cartridges. They're kind of annoying to store because you're just gonna have them in a pile in a drawer, or a box, or wherever. So this is actually a really great solution for storing these. It's just a plastic container. It's thin. It's durable. It's a little flexible, but this is just the right width so that these fit in here. They slide around a little bit, but basically you can just put these on a bookshelf. Along with as many of these as you need, and they're clear, so you can pull them out and you can see what games that you have in it. You can alphabetize them if you wanted to. You could probably tag you know, with a shelf marker or just a little sticker on the side, A through C, or however you want to organize it. I just think these are a really great solution for holding these. Now, this is a product that I can get from the original manufacturer, and I can offer for sale. And you know, it's not necessarily they're going to be very expensive. You know, I could probably sell these for a few bucks. And yeah, you know, so if you guys are interested in this in particular, please let me know. I know not only am I able to offer this, but there's a size that's just a little bit thicker, and you can use it for storing loose Sega Genesis games. This is like really exactly the right size for these. These, you know, they really barely move at all. You can't, you know, hardly move them side to side. This is just, it's the perfect size for these. Now, you know, again, same thing. If you have a loose Sega Genesis collection, this is going to be a great way to store these. I think this is a really cool solution. I can offer these as well. Additionally, if you check on my store, I don't know if anybody needs these Game Gear like clear cases for their Game Gear games, but you know, I am getting some of them with my loose games, and I do have these available. They're $1 each. Additional ones are like 25. You know, it adds 25 cents onto the shipping. Shipping's, you know what shipping is. It's a few bucks. So you know, you can mix and match these. If you just want to buy one, it's gonna be whatever it is, like $3 or $4. If you go ahead and, you know, and add to that, though, you could, you know, buy 3, 4, 5, 10, whatever you need. These aren't going to be something that I can get back, though. These other things, you know, I'm going to be able to carry, to restock if people want these. One of the main things, though, is that I can offer these both of these types of cases here a little bit cheaper once I get boxes to ship them in. It's funny, all these things that factor into it, but I you know, I don't really have good boxes to ship these in, so I have these Genesis ones up on eBay right now. If you guys check my store, you can go ahead and pick that up if you want. These ones might be up. If they're not, I'll go ahead and post them, because I have a few of these that I can, well, actually maybe I don't. I do. I have a couple. So I'll put those up on eBay too. So, you know, if you're interested in them, you can grab them. But mostly, let me know if you'd like these, because, you know, I'm going to have to get them in quantity. They're going to be a little cheaper for me, but I'm going to have to get the boxes to send them in. But I think this is an excellent storage solution for Sega Genesis and Game Gear games. And, you know, you can probably put Game Boy games in here too. I haven't tested those out, but I'll be testing out these. And, you know, I might be testing out some other solutions, storage solutions, similar to this for other cartridge-based games. So I mean, if you think that this is a good storage solution, let me know. I might be able to get them for Game Boy Advance games that are, you know, a good size, or you know, some other cartridge formats like that. So I'm definitely going to be doing some more like gameplay videos here coming up. So I hope you're looking forward to those. If you guys follow me on Patreon, I am gonna, I think, pretty soon just kind of put out a little poll to you guys, just like saying, hey, you know, out of these games, which would you like to see me feature some gameplay on? I'm also planning to do a review that was requested for Dragon Force on the Sega Saturn. So I hope that you're looking forward to that. And please support me on Patreon if you like my videos. You know, it really helps me out with being able to make these videos ad-free for you guys, and just, you know, keep doing cool content. So thanks so much for watching, and I hope you'll join me again.